There's no such thing as a small disaster. So when you call 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE of North Dakota, we come prepared to restore your life back to normal. From burst pipes to unexpected mold discoveries or fire damage, when things couldn't be worse, we come to you with our best. With empathy, local expertise, and a truck full of seriously powerful equipment. 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE of North Dakota. Restoring what matters most. 701-670-2022.
Hello and a happy Thursday to you. This is First Alert Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Russ Thomas. We have a lot to cover. We're in the middle of a First Alert weather day, which really the last couple hours we've seen activity pick up across the region. That will go into tonight. That will go through early tomorrow morning, even with precipitation out of the region by I think 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. We're still going to have issues with blowing snow, which we'll get into in detail in just 1 second. And then we're looking ahead to our Saturday and Sunday. We've been talking about this for the last several days now. In fact, we've had our First Alert weather days for several days here. But again, another system moving in, impacting the region in particular. Saturday afternoon through Sunday around noon, mainly for our southern regions, although that does go as far north as Fargo and Moorhead. Let's start off by showing you what we've got right now outdoors. You can see it right here. And of course, we've got some snow flying around Fargo. This just really started in the last half hour or so, that snow that is coming down. Certainly windy out there as well. Not as windy as it's going to be, but that breeze is starting to pick up there, and you can see the Linz got a lot of water continuing to collect precipitation from that snowfall. We're going to show you what is a very colorful map here, and I want to pop this up so I'm on screen here. We can point a couple things out. What we're seeing is a myriad of, we've got this area red, which we'll pull in just a second, but that is a winter storm warning. A blizzard warning in effect for areas including Grand Forks. Winter weather advisory for our easternmost portions of the region, Parker's Prairie, and then much of the region just under a high wind warning. Now I say just under a high wind warning. We're not expecting much snow in these areas shaded in orange. What we are expecting is very strong, potentially damaging winds. One thing I want to note here that's happening right now is you see this little polygon. That is a severe thunderstorm warning issued right around the Bismarck area. So yes, severe thunderstorm warning, and I will say this isn't too far from the west of entering our region, so we'll see the progression of this. It is possible that we could see a severe thunderstorm warning, especially in the westernmost, southernmost portions of our region over the next 3-4 hours. Again, not necessarily overly likely, but then again, we look off to the west and we are seeing one out of our region. So here we go. And again, what we've got for you, winter storm warning, as mentioned, Candu, Devil's Lake, Maddock. We've got a winter storm warning, Thief River, Fallston, Bemidji, Baudette, Roseau as well. With this, that winter storm warning, that's kind of a combination of strong winds and snowfall. Now, I will say this. The areas with the strongest winds aren't going to see as much snow, though certainly we'll see a little bit of snow coming down, maybe ½ inch to 1 inch. Because of this, we're still watching out for very poor travel conditions tonight, tomorrow, even those areas that don't get a lot of snow, because again, those winds are going to be so strong blowing it around. Where we have the blizzard warning, this is the spot, kind of that sweet spot where we have the best chance of both accumulating snow, decent amount, potentially even several inches in a few of these spots, along with stronger winds, gusty wind gusts of up to maybe 45, 50 miles per hour. You get farther north and west, not as north and east, I should say, northwest Minnesota. Not quite as windy, but this is the area that's susceptible to the most snowfall. Several inches, not only possible, but actually likely as we get up toward Baudette, Roseau, Bemidji, kind of straddling that line between maybe 1 inch or 2 and maybe 4 or 5 inches. So there are a few spots here that are right on that line, but what I can tell you is you take the red, the purple areas there, that is where you have the best chance of seeing several inches of snow. You get farther south, that is where we have lesser snow amounts, but again, very strong wind. So here's what we've got. First alert weather day, it is for today, goes through late tomorrow morning. For tomorrow morning, it's more about that blowing snow. Wind's still going to be strong, especially earlier in the day, morning commute. Once we get to about mid-morning, we'll start to see those winds die down. Not as much concern for the blowing snow. Open areas, obviously, the most susceptible. 29, we always look at 29, right? From Fargo northward, especially Grand Forks north, that's where we typically tend to see the worst conditions, the best chance for blizzard conditions, again, which we saw in that area shaded in purple. So we're watching the intense low, the blowing snow. You can see here wind gusts 60 plus possible, blowing snow, of course, traveling impacts with that. Going to jump ahead Hopefully. There we go. Satellite radar, here's what we have right now. And again, we do have snow, as you can see. We see it outside right now in Fargo, moving through the region, but it's not overly widespread. There are areas that are out of snow, some that are getting a little bit of rainfall, some with just a few scattered snow showers. But you look up, again, 29, running south of Fargo all the way to Grand Forks, all the way to the Canadian border, where we are seeing that snow right now. And again, winds starting to pick up. So please be careful now if you're traveling in those areas, Devil's Lake Basin as well. This all part of a big, complex system. I want to point out again, we're taking a look right here just north of Bismarck. You see that severe thunderstorm cell. Still a good ways from our region, but Stutsman County, you might be in the line of fire here in the next hour or two, something we're certainly going to keep our eye on for you. Going to step off here and give you a clear look at the expectation as this system moves. You see this low pressure, you see the warm front there. And again, that's why we're looking at mainly rain at this time. In other words, over the next several hours where we have that warm front. Then we've got the cold front behind that. Then we're going to start to see some snow wrap around again. So I wanted to stop here 7 o'clock this evening. Fargo kind of right on that line there where the warm front is of rain, snow. And we start looking at these areas and going, okay, could there be right around the farm boundary, could there be thunderstorms? Yes. Could there be a severe storm? Yes. So again, watching that very complex system. Winds pick up in particular on the west side and south side of that low pressure as it moves through. We start looking at the yellow arrows, the orange arrows. That indicates where we have the strongest winds, 40 plus, 50 plus, could even see 60 plus miles per hour in some of our southern locations. James River Valley, southern Red River Valley. Meanwhile, you've got that wraparound snow. So we're at 9 p.m. this evening. You're still seeing a potential for some heavier snow. Roseau, Baudette, Thief River, Bemidji, Foston as well. System starts to exit by midnight. We're still looking at some snow, but again, as early as midnight, most locations around the region pretty much out of the snow at that point. You can see Fargo, Thief River, Roseau, there is a line where we have some snow there, Bemidji, Foston, Park Rapids, Wadena as well. By 3 o'clock, it looks like the snow is going to be out. Maybe a few lingering flurries in Lakes Country. I think that's about it. Winds very strong overnight, so that's when we start getting concerned for the blowing snow, and in particular, those areas that have seen a good amount of snow. I say that's the time. We're actually, as early as this evening, starting to worry about the blowing snow, but in particular once we get to midnight and beyond through tomorrow morning as those winds remain strong. 7 in the morning, again, still concerned for blowing snow. Notice a cloudy sky, no precipitation at that point. I think by mid-morning, late morning tomorrow, the winds are going to die down. Great news there. In fact, very minimal wind gust. What we are going to see as well is some clearing sky. So I think tomorrow afternoon, some areas getting some sunshine or at least a partly cloudy sky. Then we kind of cloud back up there as we get toward tomorrow evening. So here's what I want to show you. Marginal risk of severe storms, areas here shaded in the green. That does include areas along 94 through about Tower City there, even toward Castleton. Not quite, but close. And then areas south at Ellendale, Foreman, Lemoore, down through Hankinson, Wahpeton, Sisseton. Again, all under a slight risk. Level 1 risk there. Should we see anything severe weather, the biggest concern is going to be wind by far. Gust of 80 miles per hour possible. As you can see, this area shaded in light green, we could even see potentially thunderstorms there. I think it is pretty unlikely, but if we do, it'll be non-severe. But keeping our eye on that area, again, southeast North Dakota, northeast South Dakota. Winds, 10 o'clock this evening, 40s, 50 plus mile per hour wind gust, adding to, again, the complicated system which is producing snow, producing some of that mix out there. We look at around 1 in the morning, wind gusts still very strong out of the north. That actually continues right through the overnight hours. Again, that's why we have that concern for blizzard conditions for blowing snow. 8 o'clock in the morning, winds are starting to diminish. Lakes Country still 20s and 30s, but again, overall, we're diminishing those winds by tomorrow afternoon. Wind's not really a factor anymore at that point. So we're going to move on. Take a look at first alert weather day number 2. Saturday into Sunday afternoon. What? Snow, blowing snow. Right now, it looks like this is mainly focused on the southern half of the area. In fact, as weather models have evolved over the last 2 or 3 days, the northern locations, at one point, we're actually looking at areas of snow where at least the potential was there for several inches. What we're looking at now, again, is mainly a southern location, or my Apple Watch decided to go up there. So, National Weather Service, just in the last probably about half hour or so, issued a winter storm watch, the southernmost portions of our region. So we're looking at Saturday afternoon, Sunday evening, heavy snow, 5 to 8 inches possible. We could see wind gusts as high as 35, so blowing snow an issue. Again, this encompasses our very southernmost areas. I think the bulk of the heavy snow is going to stay south of us, but we want to be aware in those areas, again, like Wapton, like Hankinson, like Siston, like Ellendale. As we look at what we're projecting here in terms of snow now, of course, St. Patrick's Day is on Tuesday, but a lot of celebrations going on as we head into this week, and in particular Saturday. We're at 1 o'clock. Fargo, Moorhead, Fargo, we've got the parade, St. Patrick's Day parade. Again, we're looking dry at that point, only the southernmost areas, and again, this is at 1 o'clock. As the system progresses, it will start to push that snow, European model here, a little farther north. We're looking at 7 o'clock now, Fargo, Moorhead, potential at that point to see some snow. Notice what happens. System looks like is going to arc out south of Grand Forks and everything south. We've got a north wind as well. So with that in mind, I think you're in Grand Forks, you're in Langdon, you're in Hallock, you're in Roseau, Baudette, Crookston. We're not looking at seeing any snow in your area. It's going to be cold, but we're not looking at snow. It's mainly Fargo area south. The farther south we go, more opportunity for measurable snow. Again, it looks like most of the heavy snow stays south of just about the entire region, but a couple inches, 3 inches, 4 inches south of Fargo, certainly a possibility. We get to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The system is for the most part cleared out, and certainly by 5 o'clock looks like we are not only clearing that snow out, but we're actually going to get some sun as well. The thing is, stronger winds out of the north, wind gusts 30, 35 miles per hour, a cold wind despite the partly cloudy sky, so we're going to be dealing with cold temperatures. Sunday night looking good. So, model comparison with that snow for Saturday, Sunday. American model with this second system for the weekend system. Everything is south of Fargo, Detroit Lakes, and in fact, even those areas, a lot of them just getting maybe an inch of snow. It really does push the snow south. For the European model, a little better chance of seeing 1, 2 inches in Fargo, maybe 3, 4, 5 as you get down to Siston, which does line up with that winter storm watch that is in place for the weekend. You get to Grand Forks, minimal snow at best. You get farther north of that, really not much of an issue at all. Again, European model is the one we typically rely on a little bit more. That being said, European model has shifted way south itself over the last couple days. So we'll see either way. I think the most snow comes in the southernmost locations of the region. As far as what we wake up to tomorrow morning, temperatures in the single digits to mid-20s, strong wind out of the north. Tomorrow afternoon, not going to warm up a lot. We'll get some sunshine, temperatures upper teens, mid-20s, a few low 30s out there as well. A chilly day, but one that will feature some sunshine out there, and winds will calm quite a bit by tomorrow afternoon. Saturday, Sunday, snow moving into Fargo, Moorhead during the evening hours, sticking around overnight into early Sunday. Then I think it exits the region. Most of the snow coming southern areas. Chilly on Saturday, cold and gray on Sunday, high of only 19 degrees. Very quickly, I want to show you our 11-day planner here. Here's what we've got, and what I'm going to do is step back on screen and just pop this up full screen here. And what we're finding is that those temperatures, they're going to go down for a couple days. Look at Monday, 1 for the low, 16 for the high. Now again, we mentioned this a lot here the last couple of weeks, but the nice thing about March is the weather rarely sits still. Unlike January, parts of February where you're just in the cold and it takes forever to finally get out of it. March, we see that transition. So what is 16 on Monday, by Thursday, 3 days later, high temperature of 52. And it looks like those warmer temperatures are going to stick around at least through next weekend. So after seeing a nice weekend last weekend, warm, if you remember Sunday, 60s for highs in many locations. Now we're going 30s to teens for Sunday and Monday, for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then warming quickly back up so that by next weekend looks like we are going to be in good shape. So a lot going on there. Just a quick wrap for you, just letting you know here that we are looking at system tonight, very complex system that's going to bring snow to the northern areas. Could see several inches, especially Baudette, Roseau, potentially Bemidji as well. You go farther south, it's more rain. Could see a few thunderstorms out there. Marginal risk. Wind would be the issue. Very strong winds overall across most of the region. Starts to clear out tomorrow. Still looking at potential for blizzard conditions in our northern section, especially northern Red River Valley, which does include Grand Forks. We'll get a break tomorrow afternoon. Saturday afternoon, next system moves in, mainly impacting central southern portions of the region. Could see several inches of snowfall. Windy on Sunday, cold as mentioned. Then we warm things up as we head toward the second half of next week, which will be welcome at that time. This weather update has been brought to you by 1-800 water damage of North Dakota. Hope you have a wonderful evening.
There's no such thing as a small disaster. So when you call 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE of North Dakota, we come prepared to restore your life back to normal. From burst pipes to unexpected mold discoveries or fire damage, when things couldn't be worse, we come to you with our best. With empathy, local expertise, and a truck full of seriously powerful equipment. 1-800-WATER-DAMAGE of North Dakota. Restoring what matters most. 701-670-2022.